welkom by ons laaste uitsending vir 2022. Good morning to everybody. Hearty welcome to our last podcast for 2022. At least we had some good news. We see on the previous sale already upturn in demand and market for last 2 weeks ago 7%. And although a lot of that was ascribed to the excellent quality that was offered, with I was a bit afraid of what was coming on the last sale because I know it's not the same quality. But I'm very satisfied what happened. The upward momentum was carried over to this sale, and we had very good results. Although on the official report we quote down kids and young goats, I think it's a little bit unfair because the quality was not nearly as good as on the previous sale, and I think the scientific indicators can't even make up that equation between the quality difference between the previous sale and this sale. So to be fair, I think that was unchanged. But adults, this is good news to most of the farmers, not most of them, all of them, that adults performed very well. Adults went up with 5% yesterday, and especially in this group of 54 micron, 35 and 36 was unchanged, but you might be surprised the big quantity of Mohair adult Mohair was between 33 and 34, and that specific group performed excellent, and that caused a 5% upward momentum in adults. Everybody will ask, is our problems over? No, our problem is not over yet. I think there is glimpses of good news. At least there is not glimpses of bad news yet, and I must say, even from Europe, there is pressure on price, but there is still a lot of interest in Mohair. It's not the fact that demand has completely died. So let's hope for 2023. I think we will be in for a better season than the past one, the winter season of 2022. I have sold some of the stock, but there is still a large contingency of stock available. Hopefully that will be moved during the next month or two. I can remember last year in December the buyers have done a lot of business in December, so hopefully the trend is the same. And but although it's mostly the two processors that bought up the stock yesterday, yet you can see that they have done a little bit of business, and things are picking up. As things progress, we will re-offer the Mohair in the pool, but as I know the market, the buyers will buy that Mohair before you can re-offer it when the demand returns. Compared to last year this time, we're still about 10% off. But we must also remember last winter was really a record season. So under circumstances, not too bad. Let's go to our official report, and we will go there to the first page. You'll see that we offered 479 lots yesterday, of which 470 were sold. That's 98% at the House of Fibre and BKB. Price movement on adults, you'll see 6.4%, young goats down by 5%, and kids down by 2%. I explained it already, which is a more logic explanation. Then you'll see compared to last year this time, we stand at 373 now, and last year this time was 415. That is 10% difference. Let's hope we will go back to that margin. Interesting enough, on the previous sale with the top clips available, most of them average more than 400 rand a kilo on the clip. Then the important one, the price movement per micron. Really, I'm not going, I say it every time, but I'm not really looking at the non-RMS movement, because it's dramatic movements, but it's because it's small quantities. So it's not an accurate on average movement. Rather look at the RMS indicators. It gives you a far better idea. Yesterday, the difference between RMS and non-RMS shrink to about 12% again from 15-16%. In monetary terms, that will say about 50 rand a kilo on average. But if we have a look at in detail there, you'll see that the 23 micron group actually went up yesterday, and also the 26 micron group, which is a very good sign. The rest came down a little bit, 1 or 2%. Then in the young goats, the 28 micron went up. The rest of the young goats came down 1 or 2%. And then the adults, as I mentioned, the big gainer there was the 54 micron group that went up with 5.3%. If we move to the next slide, you'll see that the exchange rate was, in the dollar terms, basically the same as 2 weeks ago. So it didn't play any role yesterday. The market improved above the currency being unchanged. The next page as well, currency unchanged. Then the next page is the graph. There you will see on the previous sale, the dollar indicator was at $28, which was very good. That was in comparison with the previous record season. But yesterday it came back to $27.51, which is still a fair price if you take the average in the past 3 or 4 years. Then, just for highlights, particularly proud of this bale. To my mind, the best bale on the sale yesterday. Congratulations there, Andrew Phillips and Ross Rousseau and Mandrim Fox for producing an excellent set of bins for the last sale. Best price there for the under 25 micron group, 714 rand for a bin bale. Then Frans Fröhle from Pearson, 684, and David Short at 678. And you'll hear the short names now as again the top price of the day. Both of them 26 micron, and you remember 26 micron went up yesterday. David and Lloyd, both of them 750, 740 yet a kilo. Congratulations, and between the two shorts, I think it's a good message for their up and coming heritage ram sale in February. A good omen for them. And then in the third place, the binning section again, the House of Fibre bin at 691 rand. Very good price. Then the 28-29 micron, there David Short, first position. Brett, Mark and Charles there have been on farming in the second position, 540. And our binning section, third again. Then the 30-31 micron, clean sheet for the first two prizes for the binning section. And then the Binan brothers, Binan farming in the third place. Then the 32 micron group, again the bidding section, then Deploy Farming from Janssenville in the second place at 318, and then Roofie van der Merwe for 317. That was his best bale of adults. He only presented adults yesterday, and he's done very well. You'll see there 33, 34. Micron also Roofie in the first place there for his adults, 327. Vinan Farming at 300, and Roofie again at 299. And I think that was about, no, there was one bale of cheaper adults of Roofie, the rest was all 300 Rand plus. Then the 35, 36 micron, Vinan Farming, there in the first place of 285, Binning section 279, Jaco Olofse here from Kliplaat at 277, Vinan Farming again at also at 277, and then the 37 micron, Jaco Olofse again at 256 Rand a kilo. There wasn't much strong Mohair. I think in total there was about three bales. Then look at the next slide, the buyer statistics. You'll see the whole sale was dominated by the two processors. Samuel 42%, the biggest buyer, and Stukken at 40%. The other buyers were very quiet. If you remember, Zudwiller at the previous sale bought nearly 20%. Yesterday only 5%. I could really see that he's only picking the cream of the crop. The smaller buyers are all scared. They don't want to sit with stock over this long break. And our off season in the Mohair season is in the Mohair world is actually now and not in June, July. Our off season, our biggest break is now. Yesterday was the last sale, only the first sale in 2 months' time. So the smaller buyers didn't want to sit with stock. That's why they didn't operate much on the last sale. Although Kodaker bought some kits, Sudwiller bought quite a lot. He's normal 5%, and no, sorry, not his normal 5%. Only 5%, and BBC, thought it was BBC 1.5%, and Mosen Falls 9%. So that was all from me. You'll see the first sale for the next season is on the 14th of February, so there's now a long off season. I really hope that all our farmers, and that is internationally as well as locally, get some good rains over the next month or two, and I'm quite sure that we'll eat for a better season next in the summer season. I know all the years has kidded well, so I wish you a very, very prosperous time, and I hope you enjoy your festival of the birth of Christ with your family members and with people closest to you. I thank you very much for this year en alles van die beste van u, en ek hoop u sal werklik 'n geseënde Kersgety geniet en geniet die tyd saam met jou familie en vriende. Totsiens van my af.